Hello folks, Stone Dog here, and this is going to be a response to Venom Fang X's response to RapidApe Round 2. I'm going to play a little bit of the audio and then I'm going to respond.
Not necessarily the T-Rex.
One of these things is not like the others. Now it can fly, but what do you make of this? The bat is actually kind of a skeleton in the evolutionary closet because they have no idea where it came from. We know it's not a rodent, so it didn't evolve from mice. Where did the bat come from? Did it come from birds? Did it come from dinosaurs? You'll be hard-pressed to find any evolutionist who says that. And once again, I'm just going to state that common design does not mean common ancestry. Now, here's the thing. You're claiming that although the birds, according to evolution, didn't come particularly from the T-Rex, they just had a common ancestor. I can appreciate that. Here's the thing. Let's say you believe that birds came from flying dinosaurs, which would make sense, right? They fly, so they probably came from flying dinosaurs, if evolution's true. So you have to explain why all the dinosaurs on the land went extinct, including the flying dinosaurs. Why did the birds survive and the dinosaurs didn't? It seems like a stretch of the imagination to me. Next, we talked about
Alright, I'm going to respond to that. First off, as last I checked, bats were rodents, but since you're claiming they're not, then I might have to double check on that one. But as far as the dinosaurs, why did the dinosaurs and the flying ones all die and the birds survived? Well, that's actually pretty simple. Because when the environment changed so much so that the largest dinosaurs could not survive, the only ones to survive were the ones that evolved into birds. All the other ones went extinct, and of course so did the ones who evolved into the birds, because the older versions went extinct in light of the newer versions. And that's pretty much what happened. Just kind of like the fossils we found of hominids, bipedal apes, or whatever you want to call them. We got things like Neanderthal, and don't give me that rickets stuff. I've seen it, and no, that has just never been scientifically proven. Yeah, they might have had rickets, but what the problem is they found hundreds of, or I'm not sure exactly how many skeletons, but they found more than just one Neanderthal skeleton. And how could they find so many skeletons all in the same place? They've never. If it was a man with rickets, you'd think you'd be able to find Neanderthals all over the world where humans have been. You can't. They're pretty centralized. That would suggest that even if a few of them had rickets, which could be the case, that you'd be able to find these rickets Neanderthal anywhere in the world, but you can't. But they're extinct, and if they were our when they actually weren't our common ancestor, they were our cousins. They were equally evolved as us. We just ended up overtaking them. But anyway, still, let's just say they were our common ancestors. Well, what would happen is that they would have evolved into us, and then they would have died out, just similar to the way the birds evolved from dinosaurs, and the original dinosaurs died out in light of this new thing. Let's get to the next point. Kind of went a little long on that.
free will. Okay, so God planted man and his wife in a garden and created one forbidden tree and said, okay, if you eat of that, you're disobeying me. And the reason God did that is because he wants to give us a choice to love and obey him, or hate and disobey him. And God gives us that choice because forced love is called rape, and God is not going to rape you. He's going to give you the choice. So mankind made the choice to disobey God by eating the forbidden tree. And if God didn't make that forbidden tree, he'd be robbing us of the ability to disobey him. So God wants us to choose willingly to follow him and obey him. I don't know where my cat...
Okay, I kind of stepped a little bit in this free will issue in one of my earlier videos of free will of God or machine. Really, the problem with this is for one thing, there wasn't just one forbidden tree. if you really read Genesis, what it appears to be is after they ate from that tree, then God punished them. Eve, child labor. Adam had worked the fields hard all the days of his life, something like that. And the snake, oddly enough, supposedly Satan, got the entire population of snakes or serpents or whatever you want to call them in trouble, even though he was acting on his own, I assume possessed or transformed into a snake, so that they would have to crawl on the bellies all the days of their life. But after that, it says that the gods were sitting there going like, now they know good and evil like us, and let us not let them reach their hands out and eat also from the fruit of, or the fruit from the tree of life and become immortal. I'm not really sure what that means. I mean, it seems to me that means that God kicked Adam and Eve out of the garden not for eating from the fruit that he told them not to, but so that they wouldn't eat from the other fruit and become immortal. And as far as this whole free will thing is, the tree was the knowledge of good and evil. When they ate from it, they understood what good and evil really meant. I want to know, how is it exactly that you can understand why it would be wrong to disobey God if you don't already understand evil? Because I understand what evil is. Someone like Hitler, he was evil. I understand that. But if I didn't understand that, could I really be blamed for following him? If I had no real understanding of why what Hitler did was wrong, could you really blame me? I mean, you might say, well, you ought to be able to know, but before they ate from the tree, they did not understand evil. So how exactly could they make a rational decision? I don't understand that. And I'm probably going to have to make this a two-part video. It looks like I'm not going to quite be able to fit this all in, but let's go ahead and get to the next point. Oh, actually, I'll go ahead and do this here about free will. Now, the free will you're talking about is kind of like the one I was talking about in my first free will video, which I'm about to make another one that's a little more detailed than this, but free will of a God. If God gave you real free will, and I'll make this analogy, if you were to go into the future and look at the lottery numbers and then come back and win it, would you have had any effect whatsoever on the random chance of those numbers coming together? No, you wouldn't. You just have foreknowledge of it. And so those balls were still random. Similarly, if just because God knows the future doesn't necessarily mean that he's caused it, but it is possible. If you believe God has an infallible plan for all of us, then that means God basically said, okay, this is what this person, I'm going to make this person, and this is exactly what they're going to do, and this is exactly what I want them to do. And that means that there isn't free will. And it kind of depends on the God you believe in. But let's try to get to you know what, I'll just go ahead and stop here and finish up on the next video, because I know my next point is going to take longer than this. Oh, and notice that I haven't used any foul language or any character assassination. Wonder if you'll approve this anyway.